What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to the channel. Going through all of the survival maps in Dungeon Defenders Awaken and doing some Wave 96 starts to give some folks some ideas on what to do to get those Wave 100 unlocks for the golden pets. Now, remember, when you're doing these, there is zero reason whatsoever for you to do bonus waves. So next up, we have got the Ancient Mines. We are going to do a Wave 96 start here. We got a little carried away. And no bonus difficulty at all. Now, at the same note, you don't have to use hardcore either. So if you feel like you're going to die, you don't have to use hardcore either. Now, all of these builds will probably change somewhat when runes come out here in a few weeks. However, Ancient Mines. We all know Ancient Mines is the easiest survival map in the game. It's the first stop in every difficulty to really get through the next difficulty you're breaking into. And with that in mind, Ancient Mines is also going to be the easiest map to make it to Wave 100. Now, on that note, there is just probably dozens of different builds that can be used to get the job done on this map. However, my goal for this video is going to do kind of show the most Netflix and chill build that I personally have seen. This one comes from Aramir, and I personally used this build to get into the hundreds of floors on this map. I think I'm currently right around like 400-ish, something like that. But we're going to go ahead and start things off. And right here in front of the cart, we're going to go with an Ensnare Aura, and Electric Aura, and Enrage Aura, and an Explosive Trap. These are our 4 items that we are going to be standing on, of course, with, you guessed it, a Striking Gemstone. So this build you can really do even with the most entry-level sets of gear, assuming you have fusion sets of gear, of course. Now, over on each lane, we're going to throw down a gas trap, just kind of as some emergency last resort, just in case. And then, additionally, we are going to throw a wall in right over here on this lane. We're just going to drop it, like, right there. And we're going to give it a Reflect Beam. Now, we could quite potentially have enemies pushing really uncomfortably close at some point, depending on your gear on this lane. So, just to call it good and be safe, we're going to throw an electric, or a reflect beam over there as well. Now here in the center, as far away as possible, we're going to go ahead and drop a root down. And then we're going to be standing over here close to this cart. Now here's the deal. If you stand too close this way, the Dark Elf Warriors are just going to zerg you through this hole right over here and usually destroy all your stuff. If you stand back farther over this way, then the Dark Elf Warriors are going to try to get to you from this entrance. And this can pretty easily be blocked with just a couple of spike blockades. So you can go with like a spike blockade right there, and say a spike blockade right here, and that is going to give you the ability to just ignore the Dark Elf Warriors. Now, for a little added enjoyment, you know, bouncer blockades work real well, too, and they're kind of more fun. So you can go with, like, a bouncer right there, and then, say, a bouncer right there. And then that, of course, is going to launch those Dark Elf Warriors back and away from you. Now, over here on this area, we want to go ahead and get the build started. And you guessed it, y'all. Sludge launchers are just the king of the world. We're going to use some sludge launchers. Just want to stick the sludge launchers out so they're covering as much of that far lane as they can while still covering the entrance of this one. Over here, we've got it even easier. Just point them at the spawn. Just going to be a straight beatdown over on this side of the map. Now, let's go ahead and throw down a buff beam. Of course, with those sludge launchers spread apart, you are going to have to use a longer buff beam than you normally would. However, you're going to be able to achieve this with, actually maybe even 4 DU if you put them a little closer. But we can go with 5 DU on that one right there. Now, we know we're going to need reflect beams here as well to protect those sludge launchers, so we can go with a reflect beam there. And we can go with a reflect beam. That one was 2 DU. We can go with a reflect beam, say, like, right about there. And then that's going to leave us 17 left. Well, The 17, one of the natural go-tos, of course, is going to be to drop 4 wisps right in the middle right here. So you've now got 2 sludge launchers and 4 wisps in each main killing area. We have 1 DU left. You can kind of do what you want with it. I think the safest thing would probably be to go with 1 more layer of protection over here. Or, you know, if your gear is on the lower side, you could always get rid of this reflect beam, move this one out, and put another blockade right here. Kind of up to you, whatever you decide to do. Now, as usual, we are going to want to get all of the stuff all upgraded and juicy. So we're just going to spam it out here and get all of this stuff upgraded. And this build is a complete steamroll. I mean, you can literally Netflix and chill with this build, assuming you have a set of gear. You can Netflix and chill with this build into the hundreds of floors if that's how you want to play. So super solid build. All it requires really is just having at least basic fusion sets of gear, and of course that striking gemstone on your monk. You do want a 4 target striking, so if you get a lesser striking, you're going to want to get back to the farm and keep that going here. So it looks like we've got everything upgraded now. We're all the way into the CC. I'll just keep spamming it up. Using the sludge launchers, they're a little bit more expensive, of course, so you're going to have enough DU to just upgrade everything on the map. Just for safety's sake, I'm going to get that bad boy maxed, and then we'll get these gas traps maxed as well. Still 7,500 left. I just don't feel like I really need to upgrade anything else, though. Now let's go ahead and assume the position. With that explosive trap there, you can see that that stack is getting the buff from the striking gemstone just by looking at the explosive trap. As you know, the explosive trap is very obvious and glowy when it gets larger. So let's just go ahead and fire it up and let a wave run. And, you know, standing all the way back here as close as we can to the bouncers, we're just going to completely ignore any Dark Elf warriors that are here. I usually will keep the tower boost up, so it's a semi-AFK type thing. You want to keep your boost going if you want to have some sort of active play. But I can say I've spent a lot of hours on this map with a movie playing or something on a second monitor and just sitting here spamming F. So you can go several waves usually without worrying about upgrades, or pardon me, without worrying about repairs. And the things that are going to burn the most often is this Aura stack you're on top of, so you actually don't even have to go anywhere to get your repairs off. Those gas traps out there will last a long time, and then depending on your sets of gear, it could be well past wave 100 before a single ogre makes it over to that wall to get any damage on it. So definitely a super chill build. As I mentioned, this is kind of a modified version of one that Aramir showed me, and I tried it out and it was just absolutely ridiculous. So it's an easy wave 100 unlock and that golden Mistamine pet right here on the Ancient Mines. So good stuff here. You see one wave, nothing touched the wall, nothing. Actually, it looks like the gas trap was triggered one time. What about over here? That gas trap never got triggered at all. So yeah, everything is just getting completely brutalized here with this build, and just super effective, no doubt. So that is actually going to get it for this episode. I'm going to go through all the maps, y'all. I know people have specific wants, wanting to see one map or the other. I plan on just going through them in order. If enough people are going to comment on one particular map, then, you know, I got no problem with doing them out of order if you all want to see something particular and vote to comment up quite a bit. But anyway, that will get it for now. Thanks an absolute ton for watching. Hopefully everyone has a wonderful start to their week, and I will see ya next time around. Take it easy.